So hey, this is Robin from Tech.eu. I'm here in Stockholm, Sweden, visiting iZettle. Can you quickly introduce yourself and the company?
Absolutely. I'm Jacob de Geer. I'm the founder and CEO of iZettle, a mobile payments company, disrupting payments.
How do you disrupt payments exactly? Like, what do you do?
But effectively, what we've been doing over the last couple of years is really democratize payments, making it possible for anyone to take cards with your cell phone or tablet. So that's where we started 4 years ago, and now we've moved our business into helping small businesses grow their business with the help of the card acceptance device that we provide, but also with tools like analytics and loyalty tools, etc.
Right. So you started here in the Nordics. You've quickly expanded to the UK, I think is a very important market for you. But you've also recently expanded to Mexico and Brazil.
Yeah.
So in terms of expansion, geographical expansion at least, how does that fit into your plans?
Well, we saw the two markets as extremely interesting from a volume perspective, but also from a maturity perspective. Brazil, for example, is the second largest card payments market in the world, right after the US. And when we launched roughly 6 months ago, we were pretty much alone in that market. Same with Mexico. So, we see great impact in both markets. We see great growth, and we think highly of the two markets.
Right. Obviously, you're not the only player in this space trying to disrupt the whole mobile payments. And
sure.
There's startups like SumUp and Pay11. There's also PayPal, especially in the UK with Here. So how do you feel that you differentiate from them mostly?
It's a combination of things. Overall, I think it's about the full service that we provide. At a first glance, we look pretty much the same, but once you start looking into the details on how software and hardware interact, how fast we pay out, for example, to bank accounts, how easy it is to sign up to iZettle, which is done in less than 5 minutes. That's when you see the differentiation. So I think we are pretty different if you start looking into the details.
Very good. Can you share some recent numbers about how the business is growing? Because I know you're about 150 people total now.
Yeah.
You've raised just about 40 million euros in total. Other numbers you can share?
We have a couple of 100,000 merchants across the world in our markets. So I think that's more or less as specific as we tend to get these days.
Right. What type of merchants do you see mostly? Is it restaurants? Is it taxi drivers? What kind of?
It's actually hard to be too specific in which exact kind of merchants we're going after. But if we generalize and look at segments, micro merchants and small businesses really, the core segments that we're going after. For mid-sized merchants or mid-tiers or enterprise merchants, banks are doing a good job, and we're not moving into those segments.
Right. So I won't ask you to lay out your entire roadmap here, but wondering if the focus is mostly on the hardware side or the software side at this point?
No, for us, it's all about software and service. In my opinion, hardware is being commoditized.
Right.
In a couple of years' time, it's big question is whether it's still relevant or not. So we're not spending too much time on hardware. For us, it's just an enabler to help our merchants take cards.
Right. So Europe in particular, and London especially, has been moving very fast on financial technology, innovation and startups. Do you feel that you are part of this scene, or is the fact that you're based in Stockholm kind of putting you outside of this ecosystem?
I'd say it doesn't really matter where you're based. It's more of a global community, I'd say. I think we're very much part of the London scene.
Sure.
We have good presence in London. We have been active as the first mobile payments provider in London. So I think we're very much present in this industry in the UK.
As a follow-up question, you're an active member of the entrepreneurship community here in Stockholm.
Yeah.
How have you seen the scene evolving in the last few years? Obviously, it's grown a lot.
Yeah.
A couple of really big companies coming out of the city, like Spotify and King, Mojang, for example. But how do you see the scene evolving from more like a community grassroots perspective?
Stockholm is, relatively speaking, a pretty small city. If you compare it to London, for example, it's 1 million people. Sweden is a small country, which makes, we call it the Bjorn Borg effect. I mean, if you have good talent that show good progress and make great success, then pretty quickly you see followers trying to be the same or follow in their
right. What do you think the local ecosystem is lacking right now? Like, what do you think their biggest problem is?
In Stockholm or in Sweden overall? I think the biggest problem here is actually housing. There are a lot of people wanting to move to Stockholm to join the tech community, and it's difficult for them to find a place to live, to be quite frank. Labor laws are pretty challenging for young companies that tend to pivot at least once or twice. You have problems with the option schemes and options are remunerating your employees in an effective way. But things are becoming better and better, so we're making progress.
Very interesting. Jacob, thank you very much for your time and best of luck with the company.
Thank you very much, Rob.